Hello everyone, welcome back to the Raven Journal. This will be the inside cover for the Raven Journal. Here's the front cover. If you missed that video, I only have like 3 or 4, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. But yeah, this is watercolor with a little embossing and just some drawing around, and you can go watch that. But it's going to be interesting. This is some paper that I coffee dyed, and actually put a little bit more paper, and there's a few pieces that are darker in there that I ordered just to give a little bit of different texture and feel. Like, my papers do smell like coffee, so that's great. But if you don't like coffee, then you wouldn't like it. Here I think I'm making a list of I'm not really sure what I was making a list of, but I am just going to take a regular piece of cardstock, which is gray instead of white, so I don't have to worry about that, and cover it in clear gesso. And we have a little clog. I think it splurts out a little bit, but I was scared it was going to splurt out on me. I usually keep this in a container upright, so I think it must have, maybe the lid didn't get on. Yeah, it definitely splurted out, but it's cool. Just FYI, I am yet sick again. Went out of town, came back with COVID, so what a perfect time to record. Actually, the video was already recorded. I just needed to do a voiceover. So here I am. So apologies if you can tell I have a cough drop in my mouth. And if I cough, I'll try to cut that out if I do. And drink plenty. I'm just going to cover this whole piece of cardstock really well, because I know I'm going to use a lot of liquids making this inside cover, and I don't want it to, fall apart because it's paper. So we'll just let that dry really well. It makes the paper feel different, but it is clear, so when it comes back, it's not really going to look much different. So my thought process on the brown sheet was to use it for any excess, because I think I say this just about every time. I have a hard time wasting supplies. In fact, it kind of ruins my ability to be creative sometimes, that I worry about it too much. So instead of backing off of the gesso for the gray, I decide to use the excess for another piece of paper. I mean, we'll see. So now I am going to put that to the side, clean up my mat, and we'll probably fast forward through this part. Okay, just a little bit left here of me drying, so you can see it took longer than that, but I just showed you a little snippet of the drying process. I didn't really want to wait on that, and it won't hurt to dry the gesso, so we are good. Now I'm going to pick some colors that I think will go good with our cover. So in reference, here's our gessoed piece of paper, or cardstock, and here is the cover. Now I'm going to try to match the colors. And I think I kept track of which ones I used, but I don't think it's... Oh, that's right. We did this in watercolor, so the inks may vary. And so I just laid them literally on the paper. Shook them up because, you know, oxides look different. So I shook them up a little bit, not all the way. Okay, we're just gonna pop into all the colors I have laid out. I went ahead and matched as close as I can the distress oxides with the watercolor that I did front. Of course, typical me, I made a splat. But I'm just... Oh, look at that. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, I don't wear gloves, and this is what I have to deal with, but I don't really care because I can't handle gloves. So I think that's a spray stain. Yeah, it is. And, you know, those colors are a little bit darker, deeper, and both of those are stains versus oxide. So, and they're both the same color, aged mahogany, but one is going to have a hue across it and one is going to be a deeper mahogany. And you can just see it when I spray it. Same color, one's an oxide and one's an ink. That's pretty cool. The differences that you can get, but still be in the same color family. That's neat for me. I like it. And I really do like aged mahogany quite a lot. I already did that one and I just accidentally sprayed it again. Yay me. Going for... Let's just stick the paper in it already. You know? Oh, that's a definitely a different color, which is cool. Also, all the purples. Yeah, I like all of those colors a lot. Now I'm just gonna my handy dandy Walmart spray bottle, spray some water in there, and let's go to town. I have no technique whatsoever, as you can probably tell, other than just smash and go, see what comes out. But when you do a good color scheme and you don't mix it too much, your colors are not going to get muddy and it's going to look good together. I think that's really pretty, almost galaxy-ish looking at in one part. And so now I'm being a little bit scared that I did that and it turned out okay. I think I'm trying to get more of the paper covered because I kind of want the whole paper covered. So and I constantly try to clean up because I have a tendency to get really excited, and then I will be wearing all of the ink all over myself. So now that I kind of have the colors, I just spray a little bit of water to try to get it in that bottom corner. And well, on the four corners basically, because I know, see, the ink on the table is getting muddied now and I don't really want that, but yeah, I probably should have sprayed or put out a little bit more ink on the tabletop before, so I could have got it all in one shot instead of having to keep going back in. And I'm not happy with the gray areas, and so I think I'm going to use my brown. I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure how much of it I'll show, but this was my attempt not to waste my supplies and do possibly another page to go in the journal that kind of matched. It didn't turn out good at all. I don't think it was terrible. but at least I attempted to not waste it. But it's probably because it was brown. If that paper had been white, I probably would have done better, or if the inks had been darker. Because I have used brown paper before and it turned out really good. But I'm just going, oh, this looks pretty cool. Doesn't look so bad, but wait till it dries. You don't see it very well. But you can see the differences there in the oxide and what it's doing. So I love the color variances in my cover, my gray paper. Like, I'm staring at it right now, looking at it and going, that's drying pretty cool. I really wish I could narrate while I'm creating, but I just can't. So now I'm spraying some water in there. I think the end result of this turns out really good, so don't be too upset. But like I said before, I gessoed this really good because I knew I was going to saturate it. So don't worry, the paper was pretty good protected. And I love what's going on there with that big drip. And it's kind of swirl in it. So I think at this point, we're just going to take a little bit of the excess, because it'll just take forever to dry. Except for that big drip, I think I try to let it and just put it to the side. And while it's drying, yeah, I just really like what's going on there. I'm just going to put it to the side and work on something else while it dries. Just a little bit of play, I think. So I put that to the side and I played around with a white piece of paper in between, but I went ahead and cut that out of the video, and now I'm bringing back my inside cover that has dried. And I think I'm pretty happy with it, realizing, you know, this is really just a background, so there's more stuff going to go on top of it, but I was still pretty picky because the inside cover is kind of like, you know, your first look when you open a book, and I like it to be pretty cool. So earlier we had played around with the Distress Oxides versus the Spray Stain in the same two colors, and it was the whatever that purple one is, the berry one. I can list it down there or pop it in a minute. And the mahogany, aged mahogany, and it was the both. It was the aged mahogany stain and the aged mahogany oxide, and same for the purple oxide and stain. So that paper will come back in a minute. That's the only reason I'm telling you about it. Now I'm just trying to pick out a stamp that I think would go, and that one's always a good one. This is probably one of my favorite ones. I thought about using the tree, but I kind of got caught up in there's only a partial of the tree, and I'd really like to have the whole tree running down the side. I couldn't really have just half of the trunk. Anyways, I might speed this part up while I thought, yeah, that would look pretty cool, but I don't know. I think I went against it as soon as I looked at it. So I believe I end up using both the shattered glass and the cracked one and the the script on the bug card there. I'm so technical. I love all my technical terms. So I've pulled out the archival ink, which is permanent once we put it down. The water or any other inks that I use on top of it is not going to smear it as long as I let it dry properly, which sometimes I forget about, but I think it turned out really cool. Like I said, I've already seen the end result. I know what it looks like. It looks cool. I'm happy with it. So I'm just smashing that down. And that looks really awesome. So I'm probably just going to go like speed this up, because basically I'm just stamping and checking things out and figuring out exactly how I want it to look. So I think there's something within us all that says, what if I mess it up? And let's just be honest, it's just a piece of paper that I could easily start over on. So if you're, maybe when you start out, start off with 2, do your background on 2 of them, and then do your craziest ideas on 1 and use the other one for the ones that work. But it's just paper, like, you don't have to use it in the end. You don't have to, like, if I didn't like this at the end of it, I could have just cut it up and used it as a pocket, cut out the piece that I liked and used it in a different spot. I wasn't like I had to use it for the inside pocket, and I didn't really spend a whole day working on it, so it's good. And it's pretty much the same thing about all of the, even making covers that sometimes I do spend several hours on. If it doesn't turn out right, it's really not the end of the world. We can try again. And that's how most people do it, is by continually trying something over and over until they get it right. It's not like we just turn on the video and make something and it automatically always turns out every time. I'm probably not going to post the videos where something turns out ugly. Maybe I should, so you guys can see that. Like, let me know if you want me to do that, but it'd be a boring video when it turns out ugly. I could just show you some of them that don't turn out very good. And I decided to add, I don't know why, I love the little tiny specks instead of like maybe splatting on there, because sometimes I go a little crazy with the splatting, so I decided to use that. It just really didn't show up that much, which was fine. It didn't ruin it, but it just didn't show up a whole lot. It's just a little bit in those gray areas, because I just didn't really love those. But I love how the shattered glass stamp is all around the edges. And I think at one point I didn't get close enough to the edge and it made a border, which I didn't like. Just cut it off. I don't remember if this was bigger than my cover or the same size, but I knew I was going to cut my cover down. So it's fixable. I think with paper everything is fixable. I don't like how my I'm letting my paper go out so you can't see it, but and I think the name of this one is Entomology, the Tim Holtz stamps, and that's all the bugs and then some script. I'm not sure why they put script in with the bugs, but those are some of the best script that I have, because it has a top, a bottom, and it has a part of it's going sideways, and you can use it and it looks different if you use it several times in one piece of paper. So I think I used brown on one of them. Because my pages are coffee dyed, and I'm trying to introduce some of the brown into the rest of it. And so now I have some Raven stamps I got on Amazon. I just typed in Raven stamps and it came up. I don't know what the brand is. But I searched and bought like every Raven thing I could find because I already made a Raven journal once and I loved it. And so I even have an Edgar Allan Poe magazine that I got some stuff out of. It might pop up later. So I've just used that archival ink again. That's permanent. And it does say the Raven on it. It's a very cool stamp. And now I'm going to put clear embossing over that and make some magic, I think. Yeah, this is the clear embossing powder. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to play around with some embossing stuff and show you some differences. But for right now, we're just doing clear. This clear has the consistency of like salt or something, or maybe sugar. And so it's chunkier than other embossing. Other embossing is more like powders. So I'm not sure if that bugs anybody else. It doesn't bug me, but at first I was just thinking, oh wow, I don't know, is this gonna stay on? Plus I stamped that and took me a long time to get to pulling out the embossing powder and putting it on there, but it turned out fine, so all is good. Why do we use clear embossing powder? Because if you can only afford to buy one embossing powder, just go with clear. And if you have ink, maybe a couple ink pads, then it'll be whatever color is underneath. Sorry, coughing again. That's the whole point of it, is it'll just make whatever's underneath shiny. It doesn't add any color. Definitely won't cover up what's underneath. It's just going to add a super glossy finish. This one does anyways. And as you can see here, this is my favorite part. To me it looks like magic, but embossing powder is just tiny little pieces of plastic. When you heat it up, it all melts together and makes a plasticky area in your art. And so since this one started out clear, it's just going to be black. It's going to be shiny black. And you have to be careful. My heat tool is probably a little bit too hot. I can literally catch a piece of paper on fire or scorch it. So I do have to be careful. But now you can see that's a huge focal point for the opening up of this journal. It's very cool, very shiny, and it's not going anywhere. It's in there. So I love it. It's definitely my favorite spot right now. So yeah. Now we're gonna, I feel like that might be all I'm gonna do to the inside cover for right now. The rest of it will be after I put it together, probably. So now I'm just going to do what I was telling you about before, just play around with some embossing stuff. So I have my paper, maybe not the best paper in the world, but I wanted it to have different colors underneath so you can see my sample paper I was playing around with, and I'm going to do embossing powder. I'm going to do glaze and show you the differences between those. And hopefully you'll be able to see it, because I haven't actually looked through the camera to see how well it shows up. So this is the Tim Holtz ink. It's clear stuff. The clear, whatever you want to call it, setting ink. It's not, mine actually doesn't work, and I tried to fix it, and the top keeps like blowing off of it. So, but it smells really good. It smells like cinnamon or something. So I keep trying to use it, and I don't know why I continued on. I should have just given up, but it's in there. It's not dried up. It's good to go. It just doesn't come out, and I might need to clean the top off. The top might be, because when I stick it back in there, the top won't go down. It's like it's going to shoot off. So I'm like, forget it. Oh, see, it won't stay down. It's like going to have a vapor lock or something. Pop off. Yeah. And I think it comes out, I don't know. It just doesn't work. So I just revert to another one that I had gotten probably from Michael's or somewhere like that. I don't even remember. I've had it for forever, and it works really well. And it's just like a bingo dauber. It just squishes down, and you can make a perfect circle, or you can daub it all over your stamp and then stamp it onto the paper and get what you want. So this is straight up black embossing powder. Okay, I'm about to spill it. Get it back in there. Coming up soon. Let me know if you guys are interested in seeing my tiny craft room, because it is very interesting, and I would love to. I don't know. I was gonna say I would love to show it to you, but I'm actually a little bit nervous. It's very, very small. It's very jam-packed full. I feel like there will be judging happening, but it's just who I am. So this is the clear, which we've already done the clear. I'm just showing you on a surface that's not black what it's going to look like. And then I think I only do one of the glazes. And yes, I did squish 3 circles, and it takes a while for it to dry up, so I wasn't worried. And that is like a glaze. I don't know which color. Maybe a sagey glaze. The glazes are a little bit different. You don't really know exactly how they're going to turn out all the time. It'd be a smart thing to swatch those when you get them. And then if you do it over top of a color, it can change it. And that's the big deal about the glazes. They're translucent. They are not opaque. So we have clear, we have black, and we have a sagey glaze color. And I don't know if you can see them. I think you can a little bit see the changes happening. Definitely can see the black one getting shiny. And that is just black embossing powder, not clear over black ink. And then the glaze. And I realized that I ended up putting the glaze on like a no color. So if there was anything behind it, it wouldn't even show up. You could barely see what's behind it. But one is clear, one is opaque, one is translucent. I'm gonna do it yet again just to see what we can see. And so yeah, I'm gonna say I am gonna do a craft room tour at some point, because we'll probably get a craft room upgrade in a little ways down the road, but still I want to record the current craft room, because even though it's small, I do love it. I just went ahead and sped up the video at this point because I think I do this 2 times, and it's just to show you what it can look like. I'm using ink instead of the clear dauber thing, the clear ink or the clear preparation thing. And I did not realize how juicy that blue ink pad was. I don't use it very often, so I do 3. It's so juicy. Look at that. I wish they were all that juicy. Okay, so I did a couple more just because I wanted to show what was underneath. So we're going to do clear on that one. And this is using blue underneath now. And then, excuse me, I think that's pistachio. I haven't used it before, obviously. I'm opening it. I don't know why I didn't hold everything up and show the names. I usually do that, but I think I was trying to hurry up on this video. I'm not sure. One thing that's really cool is I am excited about this journal, this Raven journal, which we'll get back to in just a minute. Okay, so now we did the glaze. That is a translucent, but it still has color to it, so you can see it literally changed the color of the bug. And now I'm going to, I didn't do anything to the other 3 bugs because they were too juicy and they were going to come out looking very globby. Look at that. It turned into like a teal color. So that blue background and then the green, obviously blue and green is going to make it teal. It's so pretty. That's my favorite bug. Definitely the glazed one. So a glaze has some color, and you know the other ones. See how globby those are? I had to clean those off. There's my bugs. I hope if anybody had any questions about that, that is helpful. In just a second, we're going to pop back over to the Raven and trim that down to get ready to bind it and add the inside cover to it. Maybe I may do that. And I went ahead and labeled this in case you want to do a freeze. Yeah, where was I born? Pause it in a minute. And I do write the colors on here, so I'm not all bad. Of course I can't read it from, oh, it's weathered wood. That one's weathered wood glaze. And that's one of the cool things about, you know, the Tim Holtz and Ranger stuff is they keep the same colors going through things to help you match and use your products together. That one is, oh yeah, I can't read that one at all. I'll get that ink color out here. Figure that out. Hopefully you can read it. Cracked pistachio? Something pistachio, I knew that. I don't know what it is. Something pistachio. Yeah, cracked pistachio. And then the last little blue bug is just clear embossing powder. My favorite. I love teal. It's very, very close to one of my favorite colors, but I can't ever pick one favorite color. I like them all, but teal is close. So now, like I said, we're going to go back over and just trim down the raven. I kind of went back and forth because I like the white edge. I like it because it looks intentional and somewhat professional. However, it doesn't look very creepy. So I went ahead and trimmed it. And I'm measuring. I'm going to post another video. I think I've already recorded. Oh, I did. I already recorded one video where I bind the pages into it and add the inside cover. I'm not sure if I did that on video. For the inside cover, I straight glue it to the outside cover. I use Fabrifix because it is literally the best glue. It dries really quickly, but it gives you a little bit of movement. If you don't get it right the first time, you have a little bit of movement, a little bit of time, but within 2 minutes you are good, you're done. And I feel like it's kind of like hot glue, but it's not hot, and I love it. And I always buy extra bottles whenever I go to the store. I get mine at Hobby Lobby because it's cheaper there, but don't tell anybody because they might raise the prices. But anyways, yeah, because if you order that on Amazon, you're going to pay a lot of money for it. So I keep buying mine and stocking up at Hobby Lobby. Although I did hear it is temperamental to weather, so if you store too much of it in area that's not temperature controlled, it might mess it up. It might harden. Anyways, so I may speed this up at some point, but I didn't want to do that until I said thanks for watching. And thank you for those people who have subscribed. I keep watching other people's videos and thinking I can do that, and they have a lot of people that watch theirs, so I thought, why not? I'm gonna keep trying my best. I do have a lot going right now. Do I dare tell you all the things? I do have a full-time job. I do have a business on the side that has nothing to do with crafting. We have a coffee business, and we travel a lot, just because our families all live in different states. And then for work stuff, I travel as well. So when I'm home, I try to craft, and oh yeah, I'm in the middle of going to school for a master's degree. So yeah, anyways, not to brag because I'm not very good at it, but I just like to learn, that's all. So anyways, I'm just trimming, and you can see how sometimes the trimmers, even though this trimmer is very, very good, you see that little line that indicates where it's going to cut. If that little line gets full of paper, which it does all the time, it causes your cutter not to go down all the way, which will cause it to make a terrible, not smooth cut. So clean that little line out. I have a pick that I use to poke holes with for my binding, my book binding, and I'll just clean that little ditch, that little paper ditch out. But it still sometimes gets the best of me and ruffles, but no worries. this is a really cool board. It cuts, it, what is that called? Creases? I can't remember. Don't judge me, I'm sick, remember? So, yeah, it'll do your, whatever it's called, crease. And I'm trying to math at this point, and I'm kind of glad that you can't see the measuring area because I probably miscalculate sometimes. Most of the time I just kind of eyeball it. If I get it wrong, I just trim the edge off of it. But this was kind of a big deal because now no matter what I do, unless I cut more off the front, and I didn't really want to make a small book, a narrow book, the tail is going to be on the back side. So if I would have cut the book down some more, I could have avoided that, but I didn't want to. In short, just a minute ago I was showing you my knife to do the creases. I can't think of the word. It's the best knife. I have this one from Cricut that you can put in your Cricut, and it will put that folding crease in there for you. If I use that one, I will poke holes in my paper. It is legit pointed and very strong. So I used the one that came with the board, which is perfect. Even as thick as that watercolor paper is, that Cricut thing will poke hole. It'll crease it too much. It'll cut it. And I'm like, I'm watching this, and don't worry, because I see that it looks crooked, but I'm very excited that I did get a new paper trimmer, which is going to level up my journal making and make everything really even and more professional looking when I want it to. Sometimes I want uneven pages, and I went back and forth trying to decide on this one whether it should be uneven or not. I decided to go ahead and make it neat. So, like I said, again, you'll, now I've just made a little little spine on my book, and getting it ready for the next step, which I'll have to, most likely, I will crease the inside cover as well. So it will bend. If you don't do that, it could warp the thing and make it all off again. I crop the corners here, but after I trim it, I have to go back and do it again. So I just do it because it kind of gives you an idea what it's going to look like. You're kind of like, oh, it's looking cool. It looks professional. But thanks again for watching. And like I said, if you're interested in seeing my crazy craft room, just let me know, and I'll try to, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna clean it up a little bit before I show it, because it is jam-packed full, and there are some areas that just need cleaning up, and this is good motivation to clean. I'm gonna go around the edges with this black, but like I said, I do trim it later, so I'll have to redo that. I just wanted to kind of give us an idea of what it's going to look like, and I'm still wanting it to be a little more creepy, so that was just kind of me seeing what we can see. And I don't like white edges, but next video I show you, you'll be like, oh, the edges are white again because you trimmed it and you haven't darkened it. Yeah, probably so, but we'll do that. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you need to know, like, did I miss anything in my explanation? It's looking pretty. It's looking a little bit creepy. See, I like that edge. Definitely like that dark edge, but Yeah, I might get out some markers and do an edge too. We'll see. Let me know. More later. Bye.
If you want to see more of the Raven, like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.